Good afternoon. Hope everybody slept well, because I didn't. But UltraMaximus here. Happy Saturday, everybody. So what I'm doing here is just a little encore performance of what I did last night, or this morning, I should say, on It's Drunken Chat. If you weren't able to tune in live and watch that whole thing go down where I showed a little bit of speculation, well, I got good news for you. This morning is going to be an encore of that. So what I'm going to do here for you guys this morning is I am going to go through the same list of 36 books that I went through last night, kind of educate you on exactly what you should be looking for here. So let's go ahead and get right on in this one. Again, thank you guys for watching The Raw Report. The Raw Report is a podcast done off the cuff, and it is graded perfect 10 without pressing. So thanks for watching, and please be sure to like and subscribe to this one. And welcome to the UltraMaximus Speculation Matrix. And in this Speculation Matrix, I am going to take a deep dive into what is known as Marvel Legacy. Now, this previously did, again, like I said, premiere on the YouTube for Mighty MLV this morning. Please like and subscribe to that channel if you haven't already, and come join in the madness that is Mel trying to get rid of comics that are in his house. It's pretty fun stuff, though. And of course, if you're watching this video here, don't forget to like this video. Please hit the subscribe button, and of course, click that bell for more notifications, because you never know when the next Raw Report is going to be. It may be tomorrow, it may be a week from now, maybe a month from now. But let's go ahead and just talk about this, okay? So 36 additional printings of the homage cover art variants without the lenticular effects. And I said yes, without the lenticular effects. Those lenticular effects were very, let's just say, distracting to what could have been probably some of the coolest Marvel variants that ever done. Now, there is a bunch of those Marvel Legacy releases that did not get a second printing homage variant. And these are the ones. So America #8, Renew Your Vows #13, which is an amazing Spider-Man 252 swipe, which would have been nuts. Astonishing X-Men, Ben Reilly, Black Bolt, Luke Cage, Defenders, Generation X, Hawkeye, Jean Grey, Marvel 2-in-1, which got a second printing, but not a homage later printing, and that goes the same for Astonishing X-Men. The Ms. Marvel #25, the Spider-Man Deadpool 31, Secret Warriors, Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, US Avengers #11, and Weapon X #11. And then also, I guess, to add to this list now is a Power Pack #63. And I guess the Dark Hawk may have also gotten a lenticular. So whatever, you know, these are books that, again, they didn't make the cut, so they're not included in this list. And what I mean by Marvel missing the boat on these, again, if they had actually taken the cover swipe art was phenomenal. So it would have been tremendous for them to have done that, but they missed the boat. But also want to point out that not all the lenticulars are created equal, because these are the later lenticulars that do not have a double 3D image. It is just a 3D image of the regular cover art, so they're not really necessarily a swipe. But there's a couple of good ones in there. Of course, Guardians of the Galaxy 150 with the Requiem origin story of Gamora, you know, turning into Requiem, and then Phoenix Resurrection with the return of Jean Grey. So there's some good stuff going on in there. This one right here, though, this is going to be how it's all broken down, and I want you guys to be able to follow along with me. So in these the following slides, there's going to be a book on the left, which is going to be the lenticular second printing artwork, or the lenticular artwork in the preview format. So like if you're looking in previews and you're looking on eBay and you're looking for these books, don't be mistaken by the artwork being used as the stock art, because the stock artwork is basically what the second print was without the 3D effect. So you have your regular cover, which is your cover A, your lenticular, which is your cover B, and then you had some variants, like every one of these headshot variants is going to be a 1 in 10, and then a lot of these books had an incentive variant of a 1 in 25, a 1 in 50 Kirby t-shirt variant, and some of them even had 1 in 100 incentives of different artwork and other things. But I'll recap when I get into the list, because this right here was the catalyst. So Spider-Man 234 right now is a book that I was not able to locate. And it's because of the Hot 10 appearance that it made 2 weeks ago on the Hot 10. Definitely pushed this one to people's radar. And this is part of the catalyst, because the catalyst is also Nico from the Comic Book Strategic Investment podcast. He came on chat a couple weeks back and was showing us some of these, and then I started taking a real deep dive, man. And I gotta tell you, the rarity of some of these second printings definitely, combined with the quality art, equals collectability all the way. I'm not saying you should run out and collect every single second print of every book, because they're not always going to be great. But in reference to these Marvel lenticulars, we have a perfect storm. Basically, it's a situation where Cover A still had plenty of supply and stock and variants all on shelves, and stores are like, why the hell am I going to order a second print? Now, there are some stores out there that obviously order the whole thing, but here we go, guys. Marvel second printing homage variants, and of course that goes except for Thanos 13, because Thanos 13 had multiple printings. The homage variant did not appear until the 5th printing for Thanos number 13. So just keeping it moving. So here we go. This is the start of the list. So we've got 36 books to show you here, and then I want you to pay attention. To the left side is the second printing cover. The right side book is the homage that was combined. So basically, Marvel took these two images and combined them on a cover that if you change the direction of where you were holding it, it would appear as a different image, and that's the lenticular effect. However, on most of those lenticular covers, you couldn't even see this artwork very well. So on the left, we have the all-new Wolverine, number 25, second printing, with the A cover in the center, and then, of course, the 1 in 10 headshot in the lower center, and then the Fantastic Four book in which it was swiped from. Now, obviously, the Fantastic Four is a classic cover. You should probably be looking for that one in your collection as well. This one right here, Amazing Spider-Man, 789, I believe it is. I can't really read it. The print's so small right now. And I forget. I've done so much digging on all these books. I forget the numbers. They're all jumping around in my head right now. But this book, of course, had a 1 in 50 Kirby, a 1 in 10 headshot, a blank sketch variant, and a regular cover A, and is a swipe of the Rock comic. And Alex Ross, of course, is known for some pretty spectacular artwork, and I think this is one of Alex Ross's best covers. This is also, going to be pretty hard to come by compared to that 1 in 50, in my opinion. Next up, we've got Avengers, and of course, this is a cover swipe of an older Avengers book where it was Avengers versus the X-Men. This one is Avengers versus the Champions. Now, this incarnation of the Champions, of course, consists of Kamala Khan, Cyclops, Miles Morales, and Amadeus Cho. So all these characters are really, really big right now as far as people looking to, obviously invest in books that have appearances from them. So this book had a 1 in 50, the 1 in 10 headshot variant, and the Giant Man copy in the bottom right in the center. I don't know if that's a 1 in 10 or a 1 in 25, but it is an incented variant. And then the cover A is the bottom right in the center section there. But yeah, this is actually a two-part to a Champions book that also appears on this list. And with great sadness, last night when we were debuting this list, we found out about the passing of Chadwick Boseman. R.I.P. T'Challa. He's always forever going to be T'Challa, and this right here is probably one of the coolest Black Panther homage swipes, because it is Black Panther versus Claw, and it is a swipe, of course, of this classic McFarlane cover done on the Incredible Hulk. And then, of course, the cover swipe of New Mutants 87. Obviously, this one does not have the McFarlane inks, but Rob Liefeld looks a little bit more polished on the later version of this Cable cover swipe. This is one of the ones I really enjoy. This is another Alex Ross cover, and Alex Ross, as you guys know, is just one of those killer artists. Definite cult following, and this, of course, here being a low printed second print cover, probably a lot of people on the hunt for this one, and if they aren't now, they probably will be. But what's really funny is there's also this other 1 in 25 incentive, and then 1 in 100 incentive. I picked up the 1 in 25, and I think I got it for cover on release, because these things were just all over the place. But if you look at the bottom left side, of course, that's your A cover, and then you have that next to your 1 in 10 headshot variant. Obviously, there's two good covers here. and I think they're both Alex Ross actually, or that one's art, a Granite cover. I can't remember who did that one. But moving on, we've got Captain Marvel number 125 with this incredible Hulk swipe, and believe there is a first appearance in this one too. But I'm not reading this Captain Marvel run, so I couldn't really tell you. But pretty dope looking cover. And then we've got this Champions cover swipe of this old Avengers annual from the High Evolutionary. Obviously, this one here is pretty cool because it is part of that two-part story between that Avengers that I showed you and this one. So if you're a Champions fan, you're probably after this book. This one right here is probably one of my favorite Elizabeth Torque variant for Daredevil number 595. And this is, of course, Mayor Kingpin, Mayor Fisk, Part 1. And this one comes from a swipe, of course, from two X-Men books. And then, of course, on the bottom, moving from left to right, we have our cover A. We've got our 1 in 10 headshot variant. We've got our 1 in 50 Kirby variant. And then the 1 in 100 variant is probably, probably a pretty sick book. That one's got a lot of people who were chasing it, if I do recall. But yeah, that's your Daredevil. Now moving on to the Despicable Deadpool. And it says, "Sorry, Sal," in the corner here, right underneath Deadpool's arm, where he's giving credit for the art. But this one's wicked. And this one, I think, is probably going to be a bigger hit than people are giving it credit for. This one right here, of course, because the black cover is just going to be a little bit of a tough fill, just because dark colors, and it's going to show everything. And, of course, the backside of all these books, guys, have the same back cover as Thanos 13. And if you remember the ink rub on it, it was pretty horrible. But still cool cover. Falcon number 1 cover swipe. This one had a 1 in 100, a 1 in 25, a 1 in 10, the cover A, trading card variant. So plenty of other books to chase out there and plenty of other ones to order to attain that 1 in 100. But how many people ordered the second print? I guarantee you this one's probably going to be one of the tougher ones to find. Of course, Falcon and Winter Soldier coming to Disney Plus, going to give that one a little bit of a kick. This right here, Guardians of the Galaxy, obviously an Infinity Gauntlet number 1 swipe. And this is, of course, Gamora on her way to become Requiem. The unbelievable Gwenpool. And here's where we have Gwenpool versus the infamous Iron Man. And there's a Fantastic Four number 200 swipe. Her book only had a 1 in 10 and a regular cover A. So, of course, as far as rarity and collectability, the second print is probably going to dominate that one. Same goes for this Iceman. If you are an Iceman collector, and there were some people saying that they're not buying an Iceman book, which is understandable, but you had a 1 in 10 and a cover A, and of course it's a swipe of Champions number 1. This one right here was probably the big news of the night because when we were on Drunken Chat last night, Mel was trying to secure himself a copy of this one, and y'all bought out eBay on him. So hopefully Mel was able to find a copy, and if not, hopefully I got a second print, another copy coming for him. We'll see what happens, but yeah, this one's probably going to be a pretty big hit, guys. And then, of course, the Invincible Iron Man, and everybody's like, oh, it's just another Dr. Doom versus Iron Man cover. But guys, got to remember, this isn't Tony Stark. This is Riri Williams in that suit. This is pre the Ironheart. I think this is before the new Ironheart suit. So right before she gets her own series. So definitely this might be one to check up on in your LCS and see what they have. But of course the cover right for this one was a Granov cover. Ridiculous. That one should actually have a little bit more appreciation than it gets. Of course, Iron Fist, you guys remember, Sabretooth actually appeared in Immortal Iron Fist number 14 right there, or 13. And, of course, there is a 35-cent cover variant for that one. And if you are digging in old books and you happen to find one of those, you scored. 35 cents were test markets. And just like the rarity of the second print here, how many shops were ordering, second prints when they still had all those first prints on the shelves? And I got to give, props to the cover A on this one, too, because it's a pretty wicked looking cover A, having Sabretooth all up in Iron Fist face like that. And to the Jays, of course, Jessica Jones has seen, a lot of interest, and then, of course, a little bit of cooling off because, of course, the Netflix deal. I do hope this character does make a return because I rather enjoyed it, and I think Purple Man obviously has a lot of exploring he can do. This one right here, Monsters Unleashed, number 7. second print. This is one of 2 books that I obtained in a Walmart pack. However, it did need a press up to about a 9.0, maybe a 9.2. I was able to restore the condition of the book pretty well, but it has a pretty bad spine break that breaks color on a pretty far distance. So, yeah, I mean, that's the downside of those Walmart packs is, yeah, you might find some good books in the center, but if it's the book you want's on the outside, look at how they package them and they heat shrink. I was able to save a book that had heat shrink that stuck to the cover basically and kind of like put indentations all over it. But, some of them are able to press up. So good luck to you there. Yeah. Shout out to Mighty Mel V on this one because we were talking about Moon Girl number 32. And this one right here, being a second print, probably got a lot of things. A lot of people looking for it. This Moon Knight number 188. If you saw the copies that were listed, a lot of them have a lot of bad ink rub, a lot of bad spine breaks. Finding a 9.8 in this book's going to be probably pretty tough. Shout out to those who were able to get them. And then Old Man Logan, this right here, of course, is the first appearance of the Red Samurai. I don't know if that character's been revived yet in the latest House of X stuff. But if she is indeed a mutant, I didn't read this one. I did collect the Old Man Logan stuff, but I didn't. If I did read it, I'd stop right before this arc. But I'm going to have to flip through it again, find out what's going on there. But I think the cover A is pretty dope in itself. Variant's not so bad. So this one actually carries a trifecta, but I really, honestly, guys, I have a strong feeling that second print's going to be a lot harder to come by than even the 1 in 25. This was the other book that I got inside of that Walmart pack. This is Spectacular Spider-Man number, I think, 297. So it's right before the 300 issue, which, of course, I think was the end of that Spectacular Spider-Man run. I think it's a really cool cover, but, of course, it's probably going to be a really tough 9.8, guys, with that black cover. So good luck to you on the hunt. And then, of course, this one here is another one that I'm predicting is probably going to be a pretty big monster. Punisher number 218, where he gets himself the War Machine armor. I think it's a really cool book to read, not only to collect, and because of how dope that cover swipe is to the original War Machine release, I think that one is going to be a hit. Then, of course, I think this is the one that Nico showed us because he says it's Baymax from Big Hero 6 who's doing the healing, which I think is pretty wicked. And if that is the case, and Baymax, of course, has any kind of future in Marvel, this variant may have some legs. But I do know that the Big Hero 6 appearance stuff that happened in Alpha Flight is considerably cooled off. But nonetheless, moving on, of course, this is where She-Hulk, they took the Hulk series and they transformed it back into She-Hulk. She was kind of PTSDing a little bit and fighting amongst a gray version of herself that had like green breakthroughs in the skin. I didn't read this She-Hulk, but definitely picked up this variant because I'm trying to collect the whole set. And then this one right here, this one and the book that's following it on the list alphabetically, I think are probably the 2 biggest books in this set. That one's not a first appearance, but this one is, and I think this is the reason why this one's selling for what it is. First appearance of the Sinister Six, 100 Miles, and of course just a fantastic swipe of the Sinister Six in that Amazing Spider-Man King Size Special. Sanford Green did the 1 in 25 variant on that one. That one sells well. The headshot sells well, and then of course the cover A even sells well. Spirits of Vengeance. Of course, this one has a 1 in 100 Texiera variant, the 1 in 10 headshot, and then the regular cover A. But it's a swipe of giant-sized X-Men. And I think that in itself is going to make this book move for people who do collect those swipes. Thanos 13. This book needs no introduction. First appearance of the Cosmic Ghost Rider. First appearance of the Thanos Wins, Old Man Thanos. It's got that 1 in 25 variant, which is an absolute monster. And, of course, the 5th printing out of all the printings does not get the love it deserves, I think. But I think it should get a little bit more. This one right here, and I mistakenly, so late last night, said this one was a Jenny Frisian cover. It's actually a Stephanie Hans. So Stephanie Hans did this variant. And, of course, this one. Thor had so many store variants, and all the store variants got qualified to get that Adam Hughes Hela cover. So there's a plentiful amount of those out there. I know they sell for ratio, and I'm sorry if you have them for sale or paid for above ratio, but that book should not sell for above ratio on the sheer fact that most of those store variants got 45 copies of these things. And I think there's enough to satisfy the market that's chasing it. but the second printing. Oh, listen to the eBay going off. The second printing itself does not have very many of them out there. Uncanny Avengers, of course, this is a Scarlet Witch cover, so there's probably going to be some Scarlet Witch chasers out there. And of course, the original Uncanny Avengers cover, the one that swiped it, the original Avengers. I'm sorry, pretty cool. This one right here, probably a pretty big book already, as I've seen it selling for 20 plus already. If you didn't know about this one, this Venom number 155 second printing Matina variant was hot way back when. And then one of my personal favorites on this is, just because it's a nostalgia thing, and that Return of Longshot was a big deal book for me back in the day. When Longshot returned to X-Men, I was all about it, and I love that story from the Mojoverse return. And then, of course, we have the swipe of Uncanny X-Men number 100. And people don't care too much for the artwork on this one. But, of course, this one, like Iceman, falls under the collection that I collect. So, of course, I'm going to nab them. So there you have it, guys. All those Marvel Legacy covers. And I want to thank you guys for watching. Of course, you can find this this presentation and any of the presentations of my comic collecting is brought to you in part by my eBay page. It's also the same name that you can find me on Facebook, and I want to encourage you guys to follow me there. Follow me on IG. If you see something on my eBay page that you like and don't want to, pay the eBay cost, I don't want to pay the eBay fee. So please hit me up on the IG. You can, of course, hit me up through Twitter. And then please, of course, join the Mighty Mel V podcast on YouTube Saturday mornings, 12:30 a.m. Eastern, 9:30 p.m. Pacific on Fridays, of course. And, of course, thank you guys for joining me on this Raw Report. Please, of course, like and subscribe. And thank you for joining me on this Speculation Matrix special report. Thank you all for tuning in. I graciously do appreciate you all watching these videos. And, of course, I don't tag them. All right, I am trying to do this in a way that's just completely natural growth, all underground. If you want to share my videos, I appreciate it. But you don't have to. But I do appreciate you watching, liking, and subscribing, and maybe telling a friend about me, because I tend to go off on some tangents and some things and down some rabbit holes, and sometimes I got some time to put some presentations together, and I do enjoy doing this. Would like to do it more frequently, but again, I got responsibilities in a life and a kid to take care of. But right now, the kid's down for their nap. That's why I was able to do this video. Check me out, because I'm probably going to do a little tiny mail call after this one. And again, thanks for watching. See you later.